Welcome everybody to a look at a third and final recent, single disc limited edition release from Indicator, and it is 1942's The Lady Is Willing. So this is directed by Mitchell Lyson, who has seen three other films from before: Remember the Night, which also stars one of our leading actors, as well as No Man of Her Own and Arise My Love. Really enjoyed all three of those films. Um, Also, this is a screwball comedy that clocks in at 92 minutes long, and it stars Marlene Dietrich, who was in 21 other films that I've seen so far. A couple of recent ones I've seen from her that I've enjoyed have been Stage Fright and The Song of Songs, the latter of which was also released by Indicator. And it also stars Fred McMurray, who I've seen in 9 other films. He was also in Remember the Night, as well as There's Always Tomorrow and Singapore, another couple of recent favourites. So, bold, eccentric Broadway performer Elizabeth Madden befuddles her handlers by coming home with a baby she picked up on the street. She wants to keep the baby but has to find a husband to make adoption viable. She offers her new obstetrician, Dr. McBain, help with his research on rabbits in exchange for marriage, and he accepts. The marriage of convenience, however, turns into a marriage of real love until Dr. McBain's ex-wife comes looking for money as he gets a fellowship grant for his research into pneumonia, which he uses these rabbits for, which is like $5,000, and she comes along asking for money from that amount. So given the three other films from the director that I have really enjoyed, and the two leads being in plenty of films that I've seen and from them and had a good time with, I was expecting this to be better. And ultimately, though, this is on the underwhelming side of things due to this having a really rather quite inconsistent tone, as it starts out as a reasonably effective comedy, but once the first act passes, the laughs mostly stop, and it becomes more of a romantic drama, more heavily onto the drama side of things in certain respects. But thankfully, despite the jarring shift in tone, that is mostly overcome due to the really rather good two leads and their solidly done character interactions. It is also well paced, has solid production value. There are some laughs, especially in the first act. It is generally engrossing and it is overall likable, but yeah, that jarring shift where it starts to become more about whether or not Marlene Dietrich's character is going to be able to keep hold of the baby, and then the baby ends up becoming unwell, and it just does take a jarring shift from light-hearted comedy about, oh, isn't she funny? Isn't she a bit eccentric for getting this baby and wanting to keep it, even though she's not its real parent, and you don't know where the parents actually are or anything like that. So yeah, it's a little bit jarring to be honest, but for the most part it works. I just wish going into it it hadn't been billed as a comedy, as it is. Yeah, if you look on Wikipedia, for instance, it is billed as a screwball comedy. So yeah, that was a little bit jarring, but on the whole, a fairly effective film, a fairly enjoyable one, but not the best that the two leads have been in, and that's reflected in my score of 3.5 out of 5. You also get a booklet with this. So that's a behind the scenes shot. There's Marlene Dietrich, Fred McMurray, and the director Mitchell Lyson. And in the booklet, we've got the casting your crew, and then we got Mama Marlene by Iris Versay from 2024. And there she is with baby Corey. No idea why the baby is given such prominence on the front of the cover there, because as a baby he was only in one other film 2 years later. So yeah, not sure why given such prominence, but there we go. And they call him the Wonder Baby, which I find a little bit hard to understand really, because he doesn't really do anything to be honest. Yes, he's not screaming or crying on camera, but that's about it, quite frankly. And then also in the booklet we've got Dietrich's Broken Leg Magnet for Interns, by Hubbard Keevy from 1941. So the production of The Lady Is Willing had to be halted due to Marlene Dietrich suffering a broken ankle on set, given that publicists had long promoted Dietrich's legs as her most valuable asset, with one studio claiming that they had insured them with Lloyd's of London. The accident attracted considerable media attention, as seen in this piece for the Boston Globe, which is interesting. Did not know that about Marlene Dietrich's legs, but there we go. There's actually a series of still frames on here of her actually falling over, which is obviously not in the film because it's an outtake, but that's really rather interesting, that is. So yeah, she's ended up on the floor. She's tripped over something. Looks like it might well be the door or the door frame in that one, and then she's eventually gone over in those last two, and then she's with a broken leg there. Yeah, that is interesting, or broken ankle even. And then we've got Hollywood's Most Colourful Director by Elizabeth Wilson from 1994. 1944 even. So yeah, this is following the profile of director Mitchell Lyson. Originally appeared in Fang magazine Screenland as part of the promotion for his 1944 film Frenchman's Creek. It covers his early work as a production designer for Cecil B. DeMille and his move into direction, as well as his notorious attention to detail. So yeah, I like the ones where they are basically from the same kind of period that the film is made. Does give an insight into, you know, the feeling of the time around the film, and whether or not they figured it was going to be a success or not. And then we also have critical response as well. So we've got the likes of the Monthly Film Bulletin, New York Times, and Los Angeles Times as well. All critical responses from those. Then we've got a black and white poster in the back, again emphasizing baby Corey. No idea why. He doesn't really do anything in the film. But then about the presentation as well. So the film is sourced from Sony's HD remaster, and the film's original mono soundtrack was remastered at the same time. Now, the sound is fine. Nothing spectacular about it, but there's nothing really out of it that is jarring. But I would say that the film print quality is not the best, especially in the latter half. There was some jarring of the picture in the latter half, and yeah, it seems to drop in quality in certain scenes, which is a bit of a shame. It definitely is a lower quality over the three films that I've bought from Indicator from their four-film slate. There's one that I didn't buy because I'm not into musicals, but of the three, it is definitely the lesser in terms of quality, in terms of the picture quality. We also have reversible sleeve artwork as well. Again, emphasizing Bob Baby Corey. I have no idea why. Did try and research whether or not the baby would obviously turn into an adult, eventually went into filmmaking as a child actor or as an actual adult actor, but apparently not. Like I said, only one other film as a baby, and that's it. That's all I could ever find out about him. But yeah, on the disc itself, we've got audio commentary with film historian Adrian Martin from 2024, performance of Innocence from 2024, clocking in at 27 minutes long, and the academic and author Richard Dyer discusses The Lady is Willing and Marlene Dietrich's work in comedy. I don't think I've seen many films from her that are in the comedy genre. Plenty of romance films, obviously some film noir, but not really comedy. Then we've got Lux Radio Theatre, The Lady is Willing from 1943, clocking in at 52 minutes long. It's a radio play adaptation of the film screenplay starring George Brent and Kay Francis. Image Gallery, and new and improved English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing, and the booklet, which is 36 pages long, as well as the reversible artwork. And it's a world premiere on Blu-ray, unlike the previous two that we've looked at, which were only UK premieres because they'd been released by Kino Lorber in the US before. And once again, it's a limited edition, limited to 3,000 copies overall. So yeah, it's a decent film, no doubt about that. But I think we started off a little bit strong with You and Me, and kind of teetered off a bit after that. As again, like When Tomorrow Comes, this has only got 3.5 out of 5, whereas You and Me got 4 out of 5. So yeah, You and Me is definitely the better of the three. I'd say this and When Tomorrow Comes are about even, to be honest. This probably has the slightly stronger and more satisfying ending, but ultimately they even out about the same. So yeah, but nonetheless, thank you for watching. If you have seen this film before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.